Goggles, goggles, goggles. Yep, today is yet another goggle review. And I'm going to be completely honest, this one is hugely hyped up by you guys. When I've mentioned any other goggle or anything even swim related over the last sort of month or so, the overwhelming response has been review this Arena Cobra Ultra Swipe goggles. And I have been fortunate enough to have these in my arsenal for a few months now. I have been using them, I have been racing in them, and today I will be reviewing them. So actually, if you've watched my top 3 race goggle video, which I know a lot of you have, I put the Arena Cobra Ultra as my #1 goggle. This is the model of goggle that I race all my meets in. I don't sway from these now, and I don't anticipate ever changing off them for a meet now. I'm comfortable in them. I think they're as fast as goggles are ever going to get, and I trust that they won't ever leak because they have not yet. Now, in that video, I did make a little sneaky joke about something being special about the goggles I had on my head, and that was this little logo in the bottom right here. So on the left lens, you have the Arena logo. That's pretty standard. And on the right lens, you have this little finger making a swipe action. And that's because these are the new swipe version of the goggle. While the entirety of this goggle in terms of a structure remains identical, they are the same Cobra Ultras you've known, loved and raced in up to now, the only big change is the anti-fog treatment that they have. I don't need to tell you, as a competitive swimmer, in both training and racing, goggles fogging up is the bane of our existence. It stops you seeing the clock, it stops you seeing the wall, it makes you feel claustrophobic. I could go on and on about why I hate foggy goggles. Arena have actually implemented this swipe technology to put that to an end. Now, I will say up front that they are not the only brand to have access to it. They're the only international brand as of now to be using it, but Japanese goggle manufacturer View had already released some of their racing goggles and training goggles with this technology at the end of last year. Moving on to Arena's involvement with Swipe, and they currently have released it for 2 goggles. The Cobra Ultra, their ultimate racing goggle as of now, but also on their Cobra Tri goggle, a bulkier model made for open water swimming. One I haven't actually had any hands-on with, but I can definitely see the appeal of having a better anti-fog for longer open water races. The goggle is a little bit more expensive than the Cobra Ultra was in the first place, but not by a huge margin. It's listed on their official website for £52 British, and the Cobra Ultra mirror version is 45. So it's a £7 increase. Now obviously you can get the original Cobra Ultra mirror for a lot cheaper than £45 now elsewhere, but I can only imagine the street price of these will be cheaper as well. I'll say right off the bat, if you are planning on buying a Cobra Ultra goggle now, there will be no excuses not to pay the small premium to get the swipe version, because trust me, it will make your life a lot more enjoyable. Lastly, I'll go on to the colour options, and I really like what they've done with this goggle. This goggle only comes with 2 different mirror variations. You have this sort of goldy copper mirror that is made for indoor pool use, and you also have a silver mirror that looks very slick that is made for outdoor pool uses. So this is actually their variation for indoor pools. And if you're someone like me who actually is fortunate enough to race a mixture of outdoors and indoors, it would be cool to have multiple pairs for multiple scenarios. Especially if you race backstroke outdoors, you don't want to be blinded and swim into the lane rope the entire race. As for colours purely for aesthetic reasons, they are being released in this very cool gold colour. And that's sort of the main marketing colour, and the one you've probably seen in pictures of Adam Peaty and Bruno Fratus wearing. But they actually come in the more traditional colours as well. So as well as their gold, they come in a white, a black, a blue, and a pink. And all of these colours come in the copper lens for indoor swimming and the silver lens for outdoor swimming. So what is this swipe fuss all about? And basically what they've done is they've taken what people do to make their goggles not fog and made it into a way that actually scientifically stops your goggles fogging. You all know that feeling of the first use of a goggle, their vision is absolutely flawless, and a week or 2 in they start to fog up, and at first you try and be quite gentle about it, and then in the end you're getting your fingers in, wiping the lenses because you just can't be bothered to swim with foggy goggles. What you may have even noticed in some models with inferior anti-fogs is you can actually see fingerprints when they start to fog up, and that's because the oil in your body and generally the corrosion you create on a fine surface with your fingers gets rid of that anti-fog that basically keeps your sanity. The treatment the Swipe are doing and Arena are doing basically means that when these goggles do start to fog, a simple swipe of the lens will reactivate the anti-fog treatment so that you can enjoy swimming again. The process is simple. You first of all wet the lens. You then swipe the lens and you then rinse the lens again. You can feel something's going on because when you swipe these, it's almost like they've got baby shampoo inside or something like that. It's really quite oily and slick. The bigger question is, does it work? And my honest answer as of now would be yes. I've not had to use the swipe feature too much, but when I have, and the odd scenario that they have started to fog during some longer training sessions, what I have found is one execution of this swipe procedure has kept the anti-fog in check for the rest of that session. What I find in other goggles is as soon as you have to start clearing the fog off the lenses, you're only good for probably 100, 200 meters before you have to do that again. What I find with these is the same process of wiping the lens, but then you are good anti-fogged up. They have done rigorous testing in hugely chlorinated environments, and they've found the anti-fog on this lasts for up to 30 strenuous cycles compared to a 3 of previous Arena Cobra goggles. And that, to me, is huge. I know in the comments I'm going to get all sorts of questions about what I actually think of the goggles. I think they look cool. I love the stability bars. They stay under my hat. Awesome in the races and they don't budge. As I said, they've never leaked, not in a training swim, not in a race. And for me, I don't think I can say that for absolutely any other goggle I've ever raced in. As you can see, the design is hydrodynamic. They have an over-molded gasket that makes them really sleek in the water. As I've said before, I don't think amongst any of the top goggles, I personally notice any huge performance benefits between a Speedo or an Arena or a Tier or a jacket goggle. I think they're all pretty fast. Comfort, they do have quite a small gasket around your eyes. It's quite shallow, which for longer eyelashes may be a bit weird. And it can be a little tighter around your eyes. Obviously, it's something you get used to. They're probably not the most comfortable goggles in the world. Once your eyes are sort of molded to them, they are spot on for any racing or training purposes. I know a comparison you're all going to want and ask for is versus this new Speedo laser fast and pure focus goggles. I find them, to be completely honest, more comfortable, but bulkier, and probably their worst trait in my experience is how badly they fog. I've only had these about a month and I've been probably training them for 2 weeks and already the anti-fog is dead. They fog after every repeat in training. I have to rinse them out and I have to rinse them out before every push off. It's already a pain. They're similarly designed goggles, quite like their nose piece, but you can see they've clearly been inspired to a degree by Arena Cobras with the stability bars. And as I said, I find them extremely comfortable, but a bit bulkier on my face. Not as low profile, and I will be racing the Cobra Ultra Swipe goggles for the rest of my career, most likely. So that was my take on the new Swipe variation of Arena's goggles. I'm hoping and sure that much more of Arena's lineup will get released with the Swipe feature. I don't see why not. Now they have access to it, why would they not implement it in everything? It's great. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it did, please leave a thumbs up. If you are going to get a Swipe pair of goggles, let me know which colour you plan on getting and if you want to get the indoor or outdoor version. Last of all, please subscribe and share the word around with your teammates. That's all for now. I'm going to go for a little swim. I'll see you later.